Welcome to the Virtual Spring Meeting 2020, brought to you by the American Bar Association Antitrust Law Section. The Spring Meeting is the section's premier event, a multi-day celebration of learning and camaraderie. The Virtual Spring Meeting brings together the world's leading experts on competition, consumer protection, and privacy law, discussing the most compelling issues of the day. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome, and you should consider the 68th Annual Spring Meeting open for business. This is the first time we have done the spring meeting completely virtual. My name is John Roberti. Welcome. Today we're going to have a very special session, a live stream. We're going to have the people who really put this program together. It's amazing. I will tell you, I have been helping to put together some of the production, and I have listened to virtually every one of these panels, and it reminds me about why the spring meeting is so incredible. The substance is terrific. And I think we've had a little bit of fun this year. So again, welcome to the spring meeting. I'd like to now turn it over to Brian Henry, who is the chair of the section, to formally welcome you. Brian.
Well, thanks, John. Welcome everyone to the first ABA Antitrust Law Section virtual spring meeting. What is happening around the world today is a tragedy of epic proportions, and the entire antitrust section feels for those who are so deeply impacted by COVID-19, including, frankly, some who are very close to the section. We are living history. It seems like it has been, at least since the Ice Age, 2.6 million years ago, that the entire globe was so greatly impacted by something at the very same time. That one lasted for 10,000 years. Hopefully that will not be the case here. Merely thinking about people from around the world being confined to their homes and all of the healthcare workers who are suiting up to avoid contacting the virus is strange and frankly quite stressful for everyone. We held on as long as possible in deciding to cancel the in-person spring meeting in Washington with the genuine hope of pulling it off. Fortunately, that was not meant to be. While it is very cliche to say, we quickly decided to try to turn a lemon into lemonade and to experiment to see if we could host spring meeting online. Well, here we are, 37 days later, and we are kicking off spring on a really cool, simple to use website for our entire global membership to enjoy. Not only our global membership, but really anyone who wants to log in and check us out. The program is free, no registration required. Our launching of our very successful Our Curious Amalgam podcast in August of last year, now actually with 37 episodes and well over 20,000 listens, gave us the platform, the experience, and the confidence to pull this off virtually. We always knew it, but Virtual Spring Meeting confirms for all time that the section has a very deep bench of incredibly dedicated and creative leaders, members, and particularly our staff in Chicago. I don't have time to list everyone now, but we have a long list in the brochure that's online for everyone to view. Just an incredible effort by a lot of folks over the last month. Shortly, Adam, Brian, and Kellie are going to talk about the program content. But let me just say there is something in here for everyone, including virtual receptions. Virtual Spring would not be close to spring in DC without deep networking opportunities. So we have scheduled our virtual receptions at very convenient times for most folks around the globe. We hope that everyone joins in as many as possible. And the first one starts this afternoon with one dedicated to our law students and young lawyers. Unfortunately, given the short time we had to get Virtual Spring Meeting ready and our open access approach, there really is no CLE available unless your state happens to allow for home study, which is something you have to check on your own. I'm really disappointed that we were unable to host a spring dinner that was planned with team performers from the musicianship in Washington and the Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute band. That was going to be a spectacular event. However, we're not done with that yet. As you will see on the virtual spring meeting site, The section is going to host a major reception bash in Washington, hopefully very soon, and they are going to come and perform. In the meantime, however, and for a preview, next Thursday, the day that we were going to have our spring meeting dinner, we are going to post a series of videos from the musicianship, the performance of the Earth, Wind, and Fire Band at the Kennedy Center last December when I went and met with them and talked to them about joining our program. And I think you'll find that just some really great stuff. That'll be on the website next Thursday. So I hope that you enjoy all that virtual spring meeting has to offer. You know, I've always thought about whether and how we could make our spring meeting business casual, but I never thought in 2.6 million years that it would take an event of ice age proportions to cause that to happen. And I certainly never thought that we would go to PJ's casual, but here we are. So please submit any questions you have about spring meeting on the YouTube page. We're monitoring that and we'll answer them. And now I'm going to turn this over to our program officer, Subrata BHATTACHARJEE, who is going to do a quick walkthrough through the website so you can see how to enjoy the spring meeting. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Brian, and welcome everybody. Let me quickly start by saying that none of this could have been done without Brian's leadership, the hard work and frankly pivot of our co-chairs, Adam Beagle, Brian GRUBE, Vice Chair Kellie KEMP, and our programs team led by Margaret Stafford. So we thank everybody who was able to do this on time and in an exceptionally innovative way. You know, even now, the section continues to view programming and in fact, just connecting people as a critical part of what we do, both for our members and in fact, I think the international antitrust community. And so I think that you may appreciate that our efforts to make the spring meeting happen in a very different format reflects the fact that we still place a priority in trying to connect people in our community, outside our community, even in times that are very difficult and where we all have other things that are very important related to public health that we are thinking about, especially our friends and our families. So let me at least give you the assurance that we are continuing to be committed to connecting people even in these times. And, the section has a roster of programming activity that we will continue to roll out. Our success, I think, in trying this in a way that works with pandemic times allows us, I think, the ability to flex. And so as we roll out our programming in the coming months, coming year, I think our membership, our leadership should be comfortable that we would be able to do that in a way that obviously respects the public health interests we have to worry about, but also gets the message that we need to our folks. But right now, what I'm going to do is to show you how to get the most out of VSM with a little walkthrough of the subsite that is on the Our Curious Amalgam website. And so I'm going to just share my screen here. And if you'll bear with me, I'll take you through a bit of a walk. All right. So, Brian's told you about all we have to offer. And this site lets you access it in a fun and dynamic way, whether you're looking at our live streams, our video casts, our podcasts, the virtual receptions, which are a big part of this thing, and of course, the papers. And one thing I would add is that, because of the dedication of the people who join us as speakers, moderators for the spring meeting, we have a significant body of papers that have been prepared for the spring meeting, which are accessible to you. So the CLE mission, although we can't grant the CLE status, at least the overall point of CLE and the material is there for you as well. So let's do a bit of a walkthrough here. So we made it easy for you. If you scroll straight down, you're going to see basically the schedule. And I'll just pull it up right here. For example, you can see today's function right here, which is our own live stream. You click on that just to show you how it works. There you go. It sort of shows you the details of what you're watching right now. And I just use that as an example. So let's use a sample day just to sort of see how this works. And so if we go, let's say, to week 1, and let's go to next Friday, April the 24th. And here's a list of what we've got on the agenda for April 24th. You'll see that we have a podcast release first thing in the morning on privacy. And then if you click on that, you're interested in accessing the podcast, you scroll all the way down, you'll see the summary of the program, the speakers, and then you simply click on that button and that takes you right in to access the podcast. So super easy, and also takes advantage of our Curious Amalgam podcast interface in a super easy way. So that's one way to do it. Now, if we go back and look at some of the other things from that day, we have the Enforcers Roundtable, and that's going to proceed by live stream at noon. Let's click on that. And again, you'll see sort of details of speakers. You'll see we were frankly able to get a super roster of people to join us. And I would say that the enforcers were among the most receptive and immediately interested group of speakers to want to adapt to this format. So we thank them for that. And so it'll be really great. And you'll see for the live stream on this one, we're going to be doing it through a YouTube link. And all you've got to do is to click on this button and that'll take you right through and you can watch that program. Go back. Let's go back to the last thing that day. I chose it because it's got a good raft of things that all our members will be interested in. Let's say you want to then attend our reception. This one is sponsored by Women Connective, our very successful women's initiative section. If you're interested in that, you would click on it. Now, the one thing that we're very proud of is that we tried to sort of build on the spring meetings reputation for being a great place for people to meet. And we're trying to do that virtually using the Remo platform, which is a fun and innovative way to interact with people. And so I do want to spend a bit of time just explaining how this works, because it is interesting and useful. So when you scroll down in receptions, you'll see a button that says to join this event. And so first thing I would say to all of you is that if you're interested in the receptions, the first thing you want to do is to make sure that you hold your place, that you save your spot. And so when you click on a receptions button, you're taken to the Remo site. And then you'll see right down here, save me a spot. And if you click on that, at least you'll get details and registration so that you'll be kept up to date and you can participate. You'll see the details of this particular reception here. And then to make this super easy, because we know that some people have not used Remo before, what we have done is, I'm going to go right back to the reception. You'll see instructions on how you can access the Remo platform. And because we know some people actually prefer seeing things visually, we've also even in the site itself created a short video for you which explains how you can participate. So we hope we've made it easy, it'll be fun, and we really do think it's a big part of what we've put together for all of you. The other thing I would add on receptions is over here, if you click reception registration, you'll see a list of all of the receptions that we're offering throughout the VSM. It's significant, and again, we hope you participate. The last things that I wanted to talk to you about is, of course, all of this stuff is rolled up at the top here under Virtual Spring Meeting 20, this button. So if you click this, you'll get basically a listing of all the events that have posted in the materials through the day. So that's always a good place just to find out what's happening and what's been posted. And you'll also see, let's go back here, details of the live reception bash that Brian had mentioned. And sorry about that, a copy of the agenda to download if you'd like. And the final thing I would say is that for those of you interested in accessing the CLE, that stuff's here under section content. You click member documents. And if this works, you'll see all the things we posted in connection with the meeting, either under member documents or public documents. So I think that's really all I wanted to sort of summarize in terms of what's available on the website. I'm going to stop this now. I hope it made sense. We hope you enjoy the program and have a great VSM. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Subrata. I'm Adam Beagle, one of the co-chairs of the spring meeting. And I've got to tell you, if you told me as recently as a couple of months ago that we would be doing a kickoff session for the spring meeting, and I, other than John Roberti and me, we'd be the only people doing this from Washington, I really wouldn't have believed you. But it is spring here in Washington, and although our hometown team, the Washington Nationals, are not playing baseball yet, the work that the Antitrust Law Section members, and particularly the staff, all of the staff, have been putting in to bring you the virtual spring meeting really reminds me of the championship season that the Nationals had last year. When people were faced with unexpected obstacles, everyone was creative, contributed, and found a way to do something special. And that goes for all the staff members at the ABA Antitrust Section in Chicago. Deborah, Fifi, Gaishina, Joanne, Kevin, Margaret, Mary, Max, Medina, Olga, Rose, and Tiffany. All of them deserve the championship rings for bringing this all together. And you and the audience get the benefit of all of that hard work. It really will be the next best thing to being right there in the Marriott Marquis, because you can sit back in your favorite chair, take a socially distanced walk if you want, and we will beam the speakers right there to your device or your laptop. And you're going to get to see all the people that you would have seen in DC, all the rock stars you expect to see at spring meeting. 4 sitting federal trade commissioners, 2 former FTC chairs, the head of the Justice Department Antitrust Division, a state attorney general, 3 foreign competition agency heads, 2 federal judges, and more leading antitrust and consumer protection practitioners, economists, and academics than you really would run into anywhere else on the planet over the course of 2 weeks.
Now, Adam, this really all sounds terrific, but let's be honest. Neither your face nor mine really springs to mind when you hear hipster antitrust. Are you sure you're ready for all of these newfangled live streams, video casts, and podcasts?
Well, I think you're right about that, Brian. The format's new, but I'm getting more comfortable with it because over the past couple of weeks, I think I've Zoomed, I've blue jeaned, I've remoed. Have to confess, used my Apple AirPods for the first time, and also got a new puppy. But that's a whole different story that I won't bore you with now. But all should be right at home with our most familiar traditions from spring meeting, because we're including those in this virtual spring meeting. So we're going to have things like the agency update with the FTC bureau directors, the briefing with the state enforcers, the spring meeting lunch speaker that Brian was talking about the growth of the cannabis industry, CP year in review, hot topics, and of course, as was mentioned, a live stream next week of the traditional enforcers roundtable. And as everyone knows, there's a lot more than that. Brian, would you like to tease a few more things that people should be looking forward to over the next couple of weeks?
Absolutely, Adam. Since last fall, we've been working to put together a lineup that covers all of the issues that every antitrust and consumer protection lawyer, both here and abroad, is focused on. So for the virtual spring meeting, we have programs on cutting-edge topics like big data as an antitrust issue, whether big tech is too big to break up, the impact of COVID on privacy issues, potential rifts in federal and state merger enforcement, evaluating digital mergers and vertically integrated digital platforms. We also have important discussions about criminal enforcement and the latest on no-poach agreements, antitrust and IP, minority ownership interests, life sciences mergers, and for all of our litigators, lessons for presenting effective expert testimony. You know, I'm looking forward to all of these, and while it's unfortunate we couldn't get together, one of the benefits of the virtual spring meeting format is that I no longer have to pick among these programs. I can watch them all.
And I hate to sound like an infomercial, but there's more than that, isn't there?
Yes, there are even more gems built into this schedule. We have a very humorous Hollywood Squares style session on professional responsibility. We also have a really compelling session on how diverse litigation teams can improve courtroom strategy and results. And as Brian, Henry, and Subrata mentioned, there are 9 different virtual receptions spread over the next 2 weeks, some for different practice levels, some for different practice areas, just like we would have at our traditional spring meeting. So check them out on the agenda, and insider tip, you may want to pre-register for the ones that you're interested in. I'm starting with the Young Lawyer Law Student Reception today. It's a great place to meet a lot of the section's officers, and you should definitely join if you're interested. And finally, scattered throughout the agenda, there are some other cool things to stay engaged. We have videos, as Brian Henry mentioned, to the music and performances that were slated for our spring meeting dinner and dessert reception. We also have announcement of the winners of the Committee Innovation Awards, and also announcement of the nominations for the new officers of the antitrust section next year.
So what you're saying is that all people really need to do is mark their calendar or bookmark the antitrust law section virtual spring meeting agendas. They can start their work from home days every day by connecting with their friends and colleagues in the antitrust and CP community, right?
That's exactly right, Adam. As Brian Henry mentioned earlier, the fun doesn't even stop on May 1st. The section's already reformatting more programs that were originally slated for the spring meeting as either telephone programs or podcasts. So stay tuned for more details on those, which will be coming later this spring.
Well, I can't wait for all of this to start. So let's turn it back over to Brian Henry for any questions and closing comments.
Great. Well, our host, John Roberti, there at the virtual spring meeting desk, has been monitoring YouTube. John, do we have any questions?
We do, Brian. I want to begin by saying there's a robust discussion about whether Adam and Brian are in fact poster children for hipster antitrust. One question we have on the website is, where will the videos be available? Is it on YouTube? Is it on the website? How do we get at the videos?
Yeah, they are actually all on the Our Curious Amalgam website. And when you saw Subrata giving the walkthrough, I don't know if you noticed, but our live stream is actually right there in the box for our welcome program we have right now. So everything will actually be on the Our Curious Amalgam site. If you'd like to go out to YouTube and watch it there, maybe you have a better feed or would want to post comments, you can do that. But everything is going to be live right on the website. No need to go elsewhere. Some things are on the ABA website as well as a alternative, but there is nothing that we are doing that is not available on ourcuriousamalgam.com.
And in fact, if you just click that button right at the top, which is the virtual spring meeting 2020, all that stuff is going to be laid out there underneath that box.
Brian, back on the podcasts, where are they available?
Yeah. If as you saw when Subrata had opened up the web page, there are 3 boxes across the top of the our new website. The middle button is for Our Curious Amalgam. Those are all the entire collection of the 37 podcasts are all available there. But each one, as they roll out the podcasts that we're doing for spring meeting programming over the next 2 weeks, they're available right in their slot on the schedule, the daily schedule that Subrata identified.
Okay, here's another question that we have, which is, what happened to the Our Curious Amalgam website? Can you still get at the podcasts on that site?
Yes, and yes. It's just been taken over. It's just been taken over for look and feel for VSM, but everything else associated with Our Curious Amalgam is fully accessible as people are used to.
Another question we had was, what about fireside chats? Are there, are we going to do fireside chats this year? Things like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, given the short time frame in which we had to organize this program, we were unable to work those in. They will be back next year, hopefully live and in person at the Marriott Marquis, but for this year, we will not have those.
This is not a question that's coming off of YouTube, but it's a question that I've gotten, which is, why isn't my Remo working? Does somebody want to take that question?
So, we appreciate we're asking people to use yet another platform on top of our Zooms and our Blue Jeans and a whole bunch of other things. But one of the reasons we chose Remo was that once you're in, it's a pretty seamless and easy way for people to interact. the best thing I think you can do, apart from making sure that your system, is ready and configured properly, including your video hookup and your microphone, is if you have any questions, is to go straight to that video that we've actually put onto the site and just have that for a very quick walkthrough. And if there are, of course, any issues, you can try to email our team and we can see if we can assist.
Yeah, and I would just recommend as well, if you don't have sound or video, just log out and log back in. That seems to fix the vast majority of any connection issues.
It's the equivalent of just unplugging it and plugging back in. It seems to work for my internet. So,
and I think some of the other things we've learned about is Remo likes Chrome and Safari and hates all other browsers. Doesn't like tablets, and of course, bring your own headphones because that will help with the echoes. Last question: how much does the virtual spring meeting cost to enjoy?
Zero. Not 1 cent to literally anyone who wants to participate. And John, let me go ahead and mention on the receptions that our reception site can hold up to 800 people. And it's organized, as you will see, in various small rooms. So it facilitates and frankly encourages small group conversations. There will be hosts. You can wander around room to room, speaking to many, many different folks. So really encourage folks to join in this afternoon or any other reception and see how it works. It works actually really well.
And I would say, one thing is we made a decision to offer VSM to the community. And, part of the thinking was to allow folks to see the quality of the content that the in-person meeting routinely provides. And so for folks who have not really had the chance to experience a physical spring meeting, VSM allows them to sort of see how good our content is, how good our speakers are, how good the papers are. And hopefully, when things do recover and we'll be able to sort of do this in person again, more people may join us.
Okay, well, I think we may be out of questions at this point. So I have one request for those who are watching. Please subscribe to the section's YouTube page. Click the button for notifications so that you can make sure you get everything in a timely way. And with that, we will close our welcome session. Thanks to everybody who has watched, and we are looking forward to seeing you at the spring meeting.